Hello. Welcome back to my channel. England's Wellness TV. Welcome again. Um, in my last video, those of you who watched my last video, I was talking about some of the strategies that I've used on my journey of wellness and different strategies and tips that I have lined up for you to come and maybe pick up one or two of them so that you can maybe use as well in your own wellness. So I also described what is wellness, what does it mean? What's the word wellness? When you hear wellness, what does it mean? And also how my own wellness was impacted from the time I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and where I am now. So today I'll start from where I last talked about. We talked about self-care as one of the ways to deal with stress and mental health. Stress, we go through a lot of stress, we go through a lot of things, just everything around us has an impact on us, and this results into stress. I'm not going to go into deep into explaining or um, you know trying to define the word stress. Most of us, we know when we're stressed, we're stressed. So I won't go into there. Also, just to say that, as I talk about all the strategies or my own life experience, I'm no, by not many means, um, a professional or an expert in these areas. So I'm just talking about my own experience and some of the things, some of the strategies, tips, ideas that I picked on the way as I was going through this journey of high blood pressure. So this is just my experience as an individual. And I thought maybe if I shared with one or two people, maybe you may want to learn or just maybe get an idea of dealing with similar things that I went through. So here it is now, I'm sharing this with you. So one of the things that I talked about, one of the topics I talked about is self-care. Self-care as ways of dealing with, the stresses of life, of day-to-day things that we go through, even as we get older, how we look at life and so forth. It can be stressful, it can be really hard to manage, and that can result in us having, to end up having high blood pressure or any other ailments. And for me, I came up with self-care strategy as a way of dealing with things that maybe the pressures of life and difficulties and challenges that I was facing. And I came up with a plan on how I was dealing with this, and I called this as a self-care plan. So I looked at, the holistic, my whole life, per se, starting from emotional, the physical, health wise, and everything, and came up each category, each, section. I put it as a subtopic and came up with ways I was dealing with each one of them as they came. Yeah, so say maybe work wise, I would look at work and say, what is the most stressing thing that I'm facing at work at the moment? It could be maybe my travel to work, you know, I write it down as this is stressful. It could be, traffic, a lot of traffic, I write it down because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I have solutions or ways of dealing with these issues so that the stress can be reduced. So, for example, going to work, if I'm driving to work or I'm using public transport, what is the most stressful situation for me as I travel to work? And that in itself, I come up with um, an answer against it. If it's trouble to work against it, I come up maybe with 2 or 3 areas that I can look at to help me deal with that stress that I have traveling to work. Yeah, it could be stress with my finances. Yeah, practical stresses. It could be finances. So I'll look at it and say, what is really stressful about this? Is it paying off the bills? Is it a debt that I still owe? And then against it, I'm going to write ways or ideas that are going to help me deal with this, whether I'm going to enter into an installment plan so that I can pay that bill in installment. Yeah, and that will mean me speaking maybe the people that I owe money or the companies that I owe money, so that that is reducing my stress. It could be health wise, what is really causing my stress in terms of my health? Yeah, am I eating well? Am I eating the right food? You know, am I drinking a lot of water? Enough water for my body? Such things. So I come up with each area, I come up with a plan. You can do the same. As I use this plan, it helped me deal with the stresses that were environmental, it was whether it was emotional stress, whether it was things that are coming out because of relationships, I look at them, and instead of me sitting down mourning about them, getting stressed, getting, really worked out because maybe this and that, no, I identify the stressors. I identify what are some of the things that are stressing me, that are waking me up. They are causing trouble in my mind, in my well being. What are they? Then I write against them the strategies that I'm going to use, or the answer and the ways that I'm going to use to deal with that. And I found that quite really helpful. If you like me, who likes writing, try it, and you find that when you have such a plan, yeah, you could have different subheading. You could have emotional stress, you can have call them physical stress, you can call them financial stressors, you can use any other headings. But as you write, you find that as you write, even those maybe us who are Christians, even the Bible tells us about writing a vision. Write it down and make it clear. And as you write it becomes more and more clearer to you, and be able to manage and deal with and address those stressors. And I find that really helpful. I don't know whether that is helpful for you as well. Maybe you find it helpful. If you find it helpful, I'll be glad to know. Drop me a line if you are able to use that. Yeah, dropping me a line, and let's share. How did you manage your stress? How did you come up with ways of dealing with your stress? Yeah. So that's all I had for you today. I still have quite a lot, like I said. Wellness is a large and wide topic. So there's so many topics that I still have, so many activities that I still have, so many things to talk about. So I would like to see you again if you can come back to this channel. But how are you going to do that if you're not going to click the like button and also share? So I would like you to click the like button and share with your loved ones, so that when I come back, you'll be able to be informed that I'm back, and then you can listen to some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you in terms of wellness. Like I said again, this is a channel. It's called England's Wellness TV. It's all about wellness for people who are 50 and above. 50 and above. It all started because of my own wellness journey, where I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And I thought I was the only one, not knowing that there's so many of us there out there going through the same. But how are you dealing with your own wellness? Let's share. Let's come here. Let's come on this space and talk about that. So I'd like to see you again in my next video. Please click and share with your loved ones. I'll see you again. Let's meet again next time. Bye for now. See you. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.